Welcome. My name is Gena Timberman, and you are listening to Timber People, a podcast about people who, like timber, are strong, build and create, who gather us together like fuel that feeds fire. People who support structures of our community that uplift and protect. Welcome to Timber People. I'm excited today to have my friend, my dear friend for many years, Dr. Ashleigh Muse on the show. Welcome.
Thank you, Gena. I'm excited to be here. I've never done a podcast, but I've always wanted to. So.
You know, I'm surprised that you haven't. You're doing everything else. I can't wait to dive into everything you're doing. For the listener, Ashleigh Muse is the founder of Chiropractic Wellness Clinic and OKC Wellness Clinics, and she is one of the treating physicians at the clinic. And you know, that really just touches the top of the iceberg of all of the cool things that you're doing. And like I said, I can't wait for you to really dive in and talk about it, but in your journey. But we've been talking about being on the show together for quite a while, and I'm happy now it's happening.
Yay, I'm so excited. I have a lot to say.
Well, you have a really multidimensional approach to your care of your clients and your commitment to healing and to the holistic treatment of the body. And that really speaks to me. And I know that, growing up, I was healthy, I was an athlete and enjoyed things. It gets harder as you get older. And there are times where I recognize that I need to take a more holistic approach to what I do so that I can enjoy life in a more, in a healthier way. And so
better quality life.
Right. A better quality of life. And, sleep starts getting affected and it's not as easy as it used to be. So I really appreciate your approach, and you've had really quite a journey. And I was thinking about, after we recently visited, about your journey and what you're doing and how you appreciate and are, honor the treatment of your clients, is that out of some pain and also challenges can come a rebirth in how you approach the work that you do and your way of life.
Absolutely. Well, I started off not healthy as a child. I had back pain. I was a little bit heavy. I wasn't a great athlete. I had headaches all the time, and I didn't know what was causing it. But I finally did once I went to chiropractic school. My journey kind of took me through trying to heal myself and exercising and going to chiropractic school. I was going to be able to better fulfill kind of my purpose. I always wanted to help people. I wanted to be a doctor. I thought I wanted to be a psychiatrist, but, lots of burnout. There is psychiatry in pain, though. But I learned a lot about my body, and I learned how to heal my body. And so I learned that headaches were not necessarily just because. It was because I wasn't eating right. My blood sugar was dropping because I was trying to starve myself. We didn't eat well as kids. Sometimes we'd skip lunch or skip breakfast. And I'm a big advocate of not skipping meals unless I'm doing some intermittent fasting or time-restricted eating where you give your digestive system a break. But you have to eat the right things and you have to do it in the right way. So, but I also learned how to change my body structure through exercise and posture. And I, at 54, don't have a lot of pain, which is awesome. And I don't have headaches very often unless I eat something bad. But my own personal journey has taken me through all these different phases of, I guess, my practice and being healthy and the body. So I started off early on in practice by taking a yoga teacher training course. So I feel like that made me a better chiropractor. It was delving in a year and a half into body movement and, meditation and, just the Ayurvedic way of living. So that was interesting. And I did a lot of body work on my patients. I loved it. That's kind of what people know me for. But I gradually started adding things. I added an organic food store before we had Whole Foods and all of those grocery stores. I had a yoga studio at my clinic. So I thought if people don't like chiropractic, they got to eat, or they got to exercise. So I called it a one-stop shop for healing. And it just evolved from there. I mean, I have a whole wellness lab where I have red light and altitude training and PEMF, which is all about cellular healing. I now do endonasal balloon adjustments, which is crazy, right? Getting a balloon stuck up your nose and, inflating it. It was a very spiritual experience when I did it. I can't even explain it because I didn't do it for any reason other than I wanted to see what it felt like. And, I wanted to learn about it. And it's been great for my traumatic brain injury population, concussions, like boxers, people that have, head traumas. It really, really helps them, dizziness, all of that. So that's been really fun. And I did my training in Florida with Dr. John Lawrence, who is a well-known biohacker, and he cured himself of mold and Lyme. So, during COVID, I realized that people needed a place in Oklahoma to really heal because this sick care model is not working. So I went back to school and I got my functional nutrition counseling certification. I did the endonasal balloons. I got my injectable certification. So I actually do prolozone injections into joints, into trigger points, but also vitamin injections. So now doing shockwave, which has been amazing. So I'm constantly adding things to the clinic. And it's really been miraculous because it's exciting every day to see these stories of people feeling better or getting better or making a difference in their life. Because if you don't feel good, you can't walk, you can't move, you have all these diseases, diabetes, cancer, what good is your later years in life, So.
As I was learning more about your story and reading your website, and you were about to accept your kind of lot in life in terms of health, and that reclamation of you taking on these new innovative approaches that gave you a better quality of life, I think is something that gives hope. And I know that I'm going to come back to your value-driven approach. I'm going to come back to your value-driven approach with your philosophies for your business. But that hope, that really stood out to me, is that the opportunity that you can provide for a client to reclaim hope and to create a new journey for themselves and develop kind of a new way of life. And in the indigenous world, we talk about that medicine wheel for many cultures, and it's that balance of that mind, body, spirit, that social, emotional, aspects of life. And I love that you consider that approach in instilling a sense of balance back in people.
That's right. That's right. And I try to practice what I preach as much as I can. And, I've seen the change in myself and my own life. And I'm excited because I'm ready to travel and I'm ready to, do more physical, exercise type things. Like I'd like to go hiking places. And, I just feel like I have an excitement for what's to come in my later years instead of, thinking, okay, I've got to take all these pills and how am I going to feel good enough to go, overseas and sit in an airplane and not hurt. So
right, and be able to lift your luggage up and put it in over a bin.
That's right. That's right.
And we got to keep up with the young people in our lives. Like, my niece is 5 years old, and I want to be able to do fun things like hike and other things with her.
Yeah, and go down the slides at the playground. Like, I'm a grandma. I'm an Ashie.
Just don't do it in the summertime to get some third-degree burns.
Yes, yes, that's right. If you don't have pants on. But I love chasing after my grandkids, and that was one thing, I want to be able to pick up the grandkids and be able to hold them and play with them and, not be in pain during and after. So.
And I appreciate your nutritional approach. They say you are what you eat, but isn't that true? Like, health can come from the inside out. And, your approach to giving people a roadmap into living better from the inside out is really important. You started it many years ago, and I feel like anytime I'm around you and food, I learn something new.
Well, Gena, I've evolved in that. I feel like I've eaten healthy all my life, but I didn't really know what true health meant until I did my functional nutrition counseling course because, I thought if I went to a restaurant and ate salmon, I was eating healthy. But where did that salmon come from? What did that salmon eat? You really don't want farmed raised fish. You definitely don't want farm raised fish from Walmart that, has being fed chicken poop, literally. It's these animals or the proteins that we eat, they're in deplorable conditions, and it's getting trapped in their tissues, and then it gets transferred into us. So food is information, and if we don't have good quality sources of protein, fats, and carbohydrates, good carbohydrates, we are not going to have the nutrients that our cells need for healing and repair and to fight cancer and, all of these top killers in America.
Right. And as we learn more and more, it's the toxins, like it's toxic. We were talking about water the other day, and, water is life. And, there are things that we're all still on our journey about learning what we're putting into our bodies, how we're treating our bodies, even stretching. And I know that's something I'm not the greatest at anymore at all.
That's a daily thing for me. I wake up every morning at 5 and I do some kind of exercise. I'll walk, I'll lift weights, I'll do yoga, I'll stretch. I have to have daily movement and breath work or my day is not good.
You mentioned, you do the red light therapy. That's helped me with some inflammation before. And that's so intriguing to me about how our bodies respond to external opportunities to heal, like red light therapy.
Yeah, well, red light therapy simulates sunlight. And, in the past, we have been led by fear to stay out of the sun for, fear of cancer or whatever. And then we slap on sunscreen, which has toxins in it, but that also is blocking the sun. And so we have a very low vitamin D level in America. It's because we don't get enough sunlight. We're on our blue screens. And I mean, I could go down a bunch of rabbit holes with you on a lot of things, but red light is like a biohack to sunlight, first of all.
Right.
But the red light that I have is pretty incredible. It has 4 different wavelengths of light. Some have 1 or 2. So if you have a full spectrum, it's even better. But some of the wavelengths are great for skin, and some are great for collagen repair, and some are actually help lower your stress and mood enhancement, detoxification, recovery from sports and performance. So I actually have the model that the Clemson Tigers use in their athletic program. And they've actually seen a reduction in injuries and a reduction in healing time from injuries. So I got a great one. And I put people in there and they come out of there and they say, oh my gosh, I feel amazing after one time. They'll sleep better. They just, have a better outlook. Their pain levels go down because it does decrease inflammation and it improves mitochondrial health.
It's interesting how inflammation it's like a domino that once you begin to reduce inflammation, the effects it has on other areas of your life and your body.
That's right. So, and you can get inflammation in your brain, which can cause, neurocognitive issues, dementia, Alzheimer's. So 25 years ago, I used to be able to help people physically with my chiropractic work. And in the last, 8 years or so, it's been harder to help people. And it's because of the toxic environment. We have stuff in our body products, and our food is not even real. There's so many chemicals that they allow in our food here in America that they don't even allow in other countries. It's crazy. But, those foods create inflammation. But more than anything, it's really controlling blood sugar balance, because blood sugar balance is the key to controlling inflammation. And people tend to eat these foods which spike their blood sugar. I mean, you really need fat, fiber, and protein at every meal, and you need the right fat, the right fiber, and the right protein. And that blood sugar balance is the key to decreasing inflammation, which helps you decrease heart disease, Alzheimer's, dementia, heart disease. Did I say heart disease? Yes.
I love
And
that.
diabetes.
Right. Well, and in our American Indian population, heart disease, diabetes, as well as African American population, and with people in our community because of our environment and what we're putting into our bodies, and so on and so forth. That's. I love that now I can see tribes developing divisions around wellness initiatives. I love that I'm seeing, groups like the Oklahoma City Indian Clinic that have camps and other programs relative to reducing inflammation. I love that you are a pioneer in this area here in our state. And if someone wanted to go to learn more about the work that you do and your clinics, where would you direct them for the listener?
So I have a website that's chiropracticwellnessokc.com. It's kind of a long one, unfortunately. I'm kicking myself for that one, but that's the name of my business pretty much. But I have all of the therapies and what I do, kind of my story on that website. So that's a way to learn a little bit about what we do. I'm always happy to visit with people by phone. So if people put in a contact form on the website, then I can get back to them if they want a consult over the phone. Otherwise, they can come by the clinic and we can show them around. It's really cool. We even have a therapy to help people de-stress and get into their parasympathetic nervous system, right, which is out of the fight or flight, more of the rest and digest, and it's called Brain Tap. It's been amazing, but it's the zero gravity chair that vibrates underneath you, and you have a helmet with LED lights for the eyes, the ears, and there's messages that help you calm. If you need help sleeping, if you have PTSD, if you want to learn how to be a better business person, right, a better chiropractor.
I think we could all use some of that in some way or another.
Yes. It's been life-changing for me and some of my patients with all of the new stuff that we have. And I've really enjoyed working with people for over a period of time. I see somewhat sick people, and I do a 6-month concierge program. And I also have a brain health program that's about 4 months. And I've seen some really good changes because it's not going to take one time to reverse years and decades, right, of, bad health, poor eating, loss of sleep, poor posture. It takes time to reverse these, but we get people on track with, proper diet and lifestyle coaching, with body work, with cellular healing, with nervous system calming. It's right, just, you really need a well-rounded approach to having a good quality of life.
Absolutely. I also think that, our museums and cultural centers and areas where we gather together, they're places for telling our story. And there are so many communities and cultures that have held on to their story, held on to that, where just even the opportunity to tell your story is about healing. And I was drawn to, on your site, about the how important it is to be attentive and to listen and to learn. And I was going to ask you, but you articulated it very well, is the reward and the good feelings you must have when you see one of your clients, one of your patients, evolve on a journey from not being in a great place from a health and wellness standpoint, being in pain or maybe not having hope that things are going to be better, and then seeing them improve in ways that gives you a sense of that purpose that you originally talked about.
It's very rewarding, and I wake up every day excited that I get to go do what I do. I mean, obviously there's things about it I don't like the insurance, the right, I word. That's a dirty word
we're all
around
loving
me
to talk about right now this time of year.
Because insurance doesn't pay for the healing modalities. They pay for sick care. And so it's been a real plight to try to get people to realize they're investing in their health, even if their insurance isn't covering things. So that's one of the worst parts about it, because people are so I guess, dependent on their insurance to pay to get them healthy when all actuality they're denying things left and right that would help the patient. It's really frustrating for me to see patients not get the care they need based on their insurance, denying or not approving some treatment. But other than that, I love what I do. I love going to work every day. I have a great team. My team has been amazing, and I actually have chiropractic students that are there.
Oh, that's so important.
Yes, they are the best employees. They are the best therapists there. The patients just love them. They rant and rave about them all the time. We really have a very healing environment, and I have people walk in and say the vibe in there is super healing, and that makes my heart happy because that's what I'm trying to portray. And I had a patient come in the other day, and I told him that I don't think that I could help him unless he changes things in his life. Right. So he's in a lot of pain. He's got a lot of dementia. And, I said to him, well, what did you eat for breakfast? Well, I had 2 cookies. Oh. Well, what do you eat for dinner? Oh, well, sometimes I have a piece of bread, or, he's not real hungry because of his medicines. But, I told him, he came to me for red light, if red light could help with certain things. And I said, you know what, red light will help. But he told me how lots of things have failed. He's tried this, he's tried that, and it's all failed. And I told him the truth. And I said, let me tell you, red light can help you. It's not going to cure you because there's certain things in your life that need to be changed. You've got to get nutrition to your body. You have to sleep because he's not sleeping. You have to go to bed earlier. You've got to get on your circadian rhythm. So he actually, because I could have taken his money. I could have said, hey, let me sign you up for all this. But I wanted to be honest with him because I didn't want another failed attempt at trying to cure something, because red light's great. I want him to get the benefit out of it. But if he's not doing these other things in life, it's not going to be as beneficial. So he actually wrote me the nicest email and said, you know what? I am really going to do what you said, and then I'm going to contact you, and then I'm going to, do some things at your clinic, but I'm going to do what you recommended. But he brought his wife in, and she was like, I don't think we can eat like that. I already work, and I can't cook for you like that. But then they actually listen, and that's when people get it. That's the thing that makes my heart happy. It literally made my heart happy. And so there's things like that all the time that make my heart happy at work, that it just, I'm excited to work for the next 20 years. I've been doing this 29 years. My son's in chiropractic school.
Incredible.
I'm so excited to work with him. 1.5 years, maybe a little less than 1.5 years. And I have tried to build it into something that he wants to come to, that he's excited to do, because he did not want to just adjust people. So he wanted to be more a part in their lives with their health and their wellness. So.
Right. It is so important, as humans, the sense of community that contribute to a good way of life. And it's really cool to think about you're a part of someone's community that benefits their way of life and lifestyle and, a way of healing and being. And, at this time of year, as we're recording, we're moving into the holidays, and, there's so many people that take on those New Year's resolutions and everything. And, it's, I love that you offer opportunities to interweave new ways of healing and your services into not just a resolution, but again, that way of life.
Diet and lifestyle, you have to, it's a lot. You have to, kind of have a schedule. You've got to go to bed at the right time. You've got to pre-plan your meals. If you don't, your blood sugar drops, you reach for bad food. So, I'm meal prepping every day. Just 15 minutes in the morning, I'll throw some fish in the air fryer. Thank goodness for air fryers. Or, I make up a salad or like a protein shake, or my yogurt with all my powders and fruit. And so I always make sure that I have food ready, that, I go to bed at a certain time, I get up at a certain time, I get daily movement, exercise, things that I really am looking to bring to my clinic in the future. A vision I have is I want to get back into teaching the yoga and the meditation and breath work.
That's so important.
Because breath work is so important, and people don't realize breath, the power of breath work and calming the nervous system helps with scoliosis. It helps with oxygenating the tissues. It's just so important to have the right mindset. And so once my son gets there, I'll be able to have more time to go back into teaching yoga classes, because I used to do about 11 a week at my clinic.
That's incredible.
Back in the day when my kids were little, I don't know how I did it.
I know, right? It'll be so fun to see you both in action together, and I always love being around you and your family, and I appreciate the hope and the optimism that you give me. I always learn something from you, and so Dr. Ashleigh Muse, thank you so much for being on my show, Timber People.
Thank you, Gena. It's been fun.
Thank you.
Yakoki. Thank you for joining us. Timber People is brought to you by the Possibilities Podcast platform.